I'd like to call the meeting of the Wilmer City Council to order at 7 o'clock. On behalf of the City Council, I'd like to extend a warm welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. Your presence reflects the strong commitment to civic engagement, and we truly value your interest in the work and progress of our city. As a reminder, this is a formal meeting of the City Council. We ask that everyone in attendance remain respectful and decorum during the process. Disruptions, outbursts, or inappropriate language will not be permitted. Any individual may be asked to leave or be removed by the Sergeant of Arms if necessary. Again, thank you for being here and for your support of the continuous progress of our city. At this time, I would like to ask Pastor Favors to please lead us in invocation. We ask that everyone please stand that are able. And I will do the Pledge of Allegiance afterwards. Thank you.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you together today. You said if 2 or 3 would gather in your name, there you would be in the midst. And we believe that you are here with us on tonight. Now, Father, allow your anointing, your presence, your grace, and your mercy. Let it have free course in its place. And even as the business of the city is being discussed, we pray, God, that you would work miracles on behalf of every person in here. We invoke your presence on tonight. We pray that everything that is spoken, that you would give our leaders the discernment and the knowledge to know what is for the city and what is not. And Lord, we thank you even now for what you've done. Let there be a spirit of unity in this place. Let understanding and knowledge be released. Bless our first responders. Bless this great assembly and have your way. Saturate this city with your love and grace and continue to make Wilmer strong. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Downs.
Okay, we will now move on to our presentations, and we have a presentation on Atmos Energy's activities in and around Wilmer, and we have Ms. Kimberly Smith with Atmos who will present the item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good to see you this evening. Well, I'm Kimberly Smith. I'm the Manager of Public Affairs that supports the Wilmer area. You may have seen me around at some of your events and just supporting the community. And with me, I have Mario Garfias, who will introduce yourself.
My name is Mario Garfias, and I'm the operations supervisor for the local area. Our office is in Waxahachie, but Waxahachie, or Wilmer, is a part of our service area.
So it's our honor this evening to present to you just a little bit about what we call fueling our energy future. And what we'll do is walk through just some of the activities that have taken place here in the city of Wilmer and that part of our normal practice, and let you know a little bit more about Atmos Energy. We always want to make ourselves available to you, certainly for any issues that your constituents might have in relation to natural gas. But we're also a major contributor to your community, and so we want to make sure we're available to you for that as well. So I understand you have copies of this in front of you, so I'll just kind of walk through, we'll take turns walking through this. So Atmos Energy is a natural gas only distributor, and we safely deliver reliable, affordable, efficient, and abundant natural gas to more than 3 million customers, 3 million distribution customers in over 1,400 communities across 8 states located primarily here in the South. We work closely with our state and federal regulators to operate a safe and reliable natural gas system. Our vision at Atmos Energy is to be the safest provider of natural gas services. We will be recognized for exceptional customer service, for being a great employer, and for achieving superior financial results. As part of our vision, we are modernizing our business infrastructure while continuing to invest in safety, innovation, environmental sustainability, and our communities. We're investing approximately $2 billion a year in system upgrades to provide our customers with safe and reliable natural gas services for generations to come. On the next page, we have a breakout of our service territory. So at the top, it's our entire enterprise, and you see that we have 3.4 million customers. We're serving 1,400 communities and over 80,278 miles of pipeline. We have 5,260 employees. Like I mentioned earlier, we've invested $2.9 billion in 2024 alone. And then we have donated $20 million in charitable giving. Under that, and I won't go through all the numbers, you have it in front of you, but this is our Mid-Tex division, which is our largest division, where we serve about 1.8 million customers. On the next page, you'll see how we're serving the Wilmer area. We have 445 customers. We've invested $4.4 million in 2024. We serve you through with 61 employees out of our Waxahachie Service Center that Mario just spoke about. We were able to donate $6,500 last year in charitable giving through various organizations. And then we have 21 miles of pipe that we service your gas needs here.
So, we always like to say we're a safety company. We just happen to sell gas. So safety drives everything that we do. So as Kimberly mentioned, our vision is to be the safest provider of natural gas. And we're just doing our part to replace our aging infrastructure. Over the last 10 years, we've invested more than $10 billion to modernize our pipeline infrastructure, and we're committed to spending approximately $24 billion over the next 5 years. And that's on projects on replacing aging pipe, upgrading system, things of that nature. So natural gas safety for our first responders. So we conduct natural gas safety workshops with our city officials, our fire departments and police and first responders. We provide safety training for emergency response situations. The relationships and communication networks developed during these trainings will enhance our safety of our communities for years to come. We did partner with the Wilmer, the Ferris and Wilmer Hutchins Fire Department back in May of 2024. We conducted a training with them. And all this training is based off safety. It's to understand what the fire department's role is and what our role is, and just have that open communication whenever we have damage to our line and we're out there trying to repair those damages. So along the lines of damaging, we do have majority of our work comes from third-party damages, meaning someone out there that's working and they hit our line. So we like to promote what we call 811. The safe digging starts by calling 811. 811 comes out and locates lines for free at no cost to whoever calls them. So if you have a homeowner or anyone putting up a fence or doing some lawn work, anything that's going to revolve around digging, we do have an 811 service that everybody can call. They can come out and locate the lines to make sure not only our facilities are being damaged, but also the city's facilities as well. They can come out and they'll locate water, sewer, things of that nature. We do have a mascot. We have Rosie the skunk. So natural gas in its original form has no smell or no color. So we add an additive called mercaptan where it kind of smells like that rotten egg or skunk smell. Then that's just to further enhance our safety to make residents, people aware whenever they're smelling that smell, to make sure that they call us or 911 to report the gas. Homeowner safety, so our communities are safer when the customers understand how safely to use natural gas we deliver to their homes. So that's why we're continuing educating the public on how to detect leaks and prevent accidents. So what we do, we have one of the ways that we kind of prevent or look at aging infrastructure is through leak detection and monitoring. So we come out and we have these monitoring, we call them sniffer trucks that come out periodically, where we come out and we detect leaks. And that's where, where Kim should usually notify and say that we're gonna come out. We always like to call it like a Google car. It's a device that sits on top of the vehicle. We usually drive at night because they're real sensitive to traffic, and just the exhaust, and they pick up every little smell that could be gas. And so we drive at night, and that's just one of the ways that we're focusing on safety, on how we're looking to our different infrastructure, our higher risk, and determining what pipe is at higher risk to get those pipes replaced. So on the next page, that's where it talks about our advanced mobile leak detection, and that's the car that I was referring to. And we refer to it as AMLD, Advanced Mobile Leak Detection. It's a technology that's 1,000 more times more sensitive than our traditional leak survey that we do. To monitor storage and compression facilities, Atmos Energy uses a variety of fixed portable cameras as well and equipment to conduct inspections. So we're starting to, have new technology coming out where we're using camera that uses LiDAR. So that's a new technology that's coming out that we're working with, and it's just to kind of further enhance our detection, our leak detection.
Thank you. So hopefully you're kind of getting a sense for everything we do to try to keep our community safe. Like Mario mentioned, we go a great deal to make sure that we're using the most advanced technology that we can. We even did a helicopter flyover last year that was able to detect gas at a very sensitive level that maybe we can't detect with our sniffer trucks or with the AMLD. But we talk about the AMLD because we want the community to know that if they see a car driving very slowly 10 o'clock at night, that's us, or hopefully it's us. Check and see who it is. But if you're seeing something out there, there's a great possibility that we're looking for gas leaks, and that allows us to assess those leaks and put them on a grading scale and determine when it's time to come out and replace that infrastructure. So that's how we're spending those funds. I wanted to talk a little bit about carbon monoxide safety. That's a very big issue. Where no carbon monoxide detectors are present, we hear from time to time people lose their lives because they're not able to detect that carbon monoxide. And so that's also a big part of our training with the fire department. That's something they're trained on anyway, but we participate in that training, and we also provide graphics for your social media, for the community. Often, whenever we're trying to communicate, like we have winter coming up, there'll be some graphics that come out with that. There'll be one-page flyers that are available for your seniors. We try to do a lot of different things to make sure that we're communicating with the community to make sure you have everything you need to be safe, to prepare for winter, and that's an ongoing process. So in addition to being available at all times, we try to make sure that you have that communication. The next thing I want to talk about is our Fueling Safe and Thriving Communities program. And we have 3 pillars, and those are our kids, those are our heroes, and our neighbors. And we've had, again, a lot of great opportunities to partner here in the community in Wilmer. We've partnered with former Mayor Emmanuel Wealthy and some of the food giveaways, diapers. We've also participated with the elementary school at their lit ball. We've sponsored that, and multiple other opportunities. I think we came out in April or donated some gloves and some little cans for you to kind of grow a plant in and those kinds of things, just to remind the public to be safe around digging and always know that Atmos Energy is near. We continue our Fueling Safe and Thriving Communities program to assist the community. And I included a picture there of a few of the things that we've done with the city. I'm sorry that everybody can't see, but we've had some great opportunities to provide energy assistance kits, different things like that. And that, again, that's an ongoing thing. We want to always make sure that we're supporting the community through it. Also, in addition to fueling hope and growth for our neighbors, we support communities with financial programs that help eligible customers to pay their gas bills and upgrade their homes so that they can stay warm. So that's weatherization. If there are, where you drafts under doors, we provide the energy assistance kits that have, or energy efficiency kits that have light bulbs, shower heads, different things like that to help you to remain efficient. And then if you have citizens who are unable to pay their gas bill, we know that everything's increasing, but the need doesn't change. And so we also assist customers from both community donations, for community contributions, and the company matches that as well. And so again, ongoing support there. And I've included a page in both the handout and in your documents there in the presentation that include all of the agencies that citizens can go to for assistance. In addition to being able to go to our website, it's there as well.
So fueling economic growth, so Atmos Energy partners with our communities to encourage economic growth and create jobs. So natural gas helps to drive our economic development in our communities by supplying affordable and reliable energy to power your businesses so it can grow and prosper. So we partner with customers and suppliers to apply innovative technologies that deliver the ultimate energy efficient and reliability in adding to helping you meet the environmental goals.
So there was one last slide. It says, we're trying to remind you that we're working year-round to prepare for winter. It doesn't stop with us. It's 100 degrees outside, but we're already having meetings talking about winter. And again, we want to make sure that the gas it's reliable, that it remains affordable. That's through that, making sure that our infrastructure is able to handle the capacity needs, the growing needs that your city has. And so pretty soon, I'll be reaching out, talking about winter. It'll be here before we know it. And we want to make sure that the citizens know how to prepare their homes for the colder weather, that they know who to contact. And as always, you can always contact myself and Mario. And we just thank you for your time today and look forward to hearing from you and continuing to partner.
Thank you so much.
May I ask you a question? Down the road here, just a ways, there is a large above-ground swirly gas pipe that was put up about 2 years ago. It's very close to the edge of the road. I'm very shocked no one has hit it yet because I live directly across the street. I see it. There's been some close calls, but no one has hit it. I was told when it was being put in, it's just temporary. Eventually, it's going to go underground.
Yes.
Do you have an idea of when that will be?
I know the project was put in for funding, so we're waiting on, for that project to get approved so we can continue on. What it is, we call it a station that cuts down the pressure to low pressure. And so we're gonna completely get rid of that and put it underground. I'll follow up with Kim and we can get an exact date of when that project is gonna start. But we are in the process, we are in the process of getting the project started. With all these projects, it's not just a quick, let's go out and get started. We have to, get the funding and we have to apply for permits and all that. So, but I'll follow up with Kim and figure out where we're at on the process of that project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mayor and council, item number 2, presentation from the library. Due to personal reasons, we have to table that, and I will bring it back at the next city council meeting on September 4th.
Okay.
We have no community announcements, so we will move on to citizen comments, and the first one we have to speak will be Mr. Mike Radar.
Please state your name, your address.
Mike Rader, 601 West Minor Green, officer address, Hutchins, and 7231 Oak Oak Alley, in Colleyville. Citizens announcement, I'm not the citizen, but I feel like I am. So about the last 30 years, I've been working in this southern Dallas corridor. And I initially saw 3 interstate highways and 2 railroad systems and said this is the best logistic area in North Texas. And it's proven out to be that. I had a vision for the area, and I worked with Hutchins and Wilmer and Lancaster and a little bit of Dallas. I talked to people about the vision, what they want, what they want to see happen. The predominant thing they ask for is a grocery store. Everybody wants a grocery store. So it doesn't come easy. You gotta build a base of residential, you gotta build jobs, you gotta build a whole deal. Sometimes that takes time. I wish it was faster than 30 years, but it hadn't happened that fast. It takes more time. So we brought a need here for growth. And to grow this area, we have to have some more infrastructure. So where do I go to get infrastructure? I can't pay for everybody's infrastructure in every county here. I talked to a gentleman by the name of Commissioner Price. He didn't ask me for anything except he told me, how can I help? And he's been a great effort and support for this South Dallas region, which is now called Dallas County Inland Port of about 75,000 acres. And we're growing. So the vision's taken a long time to the present stage, and we still don't have a grocery store. Wilmer has seen 25 million plus square feet of industrial development, thousands of jobs. The economy has improved now that there's about 6 million square feet of space, and it's getting ready to be taken because the industry's coming back. So that looks good. Wilmer now has new apartments, single family, millions of dollars spent by the Council of Governments in Dallas County to add to water supply, Pleasant Run Road, and so forth, and more coming from them to support the growth of this Wilmer area. So Wilmer has, in the last 5 years, seen its tax base grow to $2.15 billion. Increased city revenue about 4 times. Seen Wilmer's name spread all over the United States in various meetings. Had the governor of Texas support bringing John Paul Mitchell here for their corporate headquarters from California. So we've seen a lot of support. That support should tell you that
That's 3 minutes.
there's more to come for Wilmer. I need to tell you right now that we have placed in city hands a plat for a 10-acre site for a hospital. So we're ready, and there'll be a ground event sometime soon. In addition to that, I'm not stopping. We're working on hotels. I've got 2 Marriott hotels coming. We got multiple restaurants coming, and a site for a grocery store. So keep working with us, help us out. I'm not the only developer. We've got other developers in town trying to do this. So don't stop, keep going. It's gonna happen. There's no other way. Thank you.
Next is Mr. Carl Sherman.
Please state your name and your address.
Carl Sherman, 1215 Forest Brook Drive. To the mayor and council, members, friends, and family, I had to write my speech because I would get very emotional about this. It's good to be here in Wilmer. You know, standing here today, I can't help but feel a deep sense of pride. I don't know if everyone here knows this, but this city that holds a special place in my heart, Wilmer, isn't just a place on the map for me. It's where I grew up. It's where I learned the value of hard work, where I first began to understand what community really means, and where people helped shape the man that I would one day become. I still remember working at Mac's grocery store here in town as a teenager. I was just a young man trying to earn a little money, I guess really a kid. But what I got out of that job was so much more. I learned how to show up, how to treat people, how to serve others with a smile. That store was more than just a job. It was a classroom for me. It was a part of my foundation. And I was blessed to grow up around men like Mr. Hilton, Mr. Seeley, who taught me so much. They didn't just run businesses, they set examples. They taught me about responsibility, about treating people right, and about what it means to invest in the place that raised you. Those lessons stuck with me, and they guided me through my years in public service. Back then, Wilmer was a quiet little town. We didn't have much, but we had each other. Everybody knew everybody, and while we may not have had big stores or fancy things, we had pride. We had community. Now, just look at Wilmer today. The growth, the development, the opportunities. It's incredible. It shows that this city has favor. Ironically, that's the pastor's name that led the prayer. And it shows that the citizens here want more things in the place that I grew up. But even with all of this progress, we have to make sure that we're not leaving anyone behind. Because I don't just want to celebrate how far we've come. I want us to keep going. I hope, and I want the next generation growing up in Wilmer to have even more than we did. I want them to still feel that strong sense of community, but also hope.
That's 3 minutes.
May I finish?
Yes. They're saying yes.
Thank you, thank you. But I also hope they have access to things we didn't always have, like a future full-service grocery store with healthy foods, jobs, and pay well and support families and resources that help them reach their potential without having to leave town to find them. Wilmer shouldn't have to drive to another city just to buy fresh produce. We shouldn't have to send our young people away to find opportunity. Wilmer deserves those things right here at home. And I believe we can do it. I know we can, because this city has always had the heart. This city is a place I grew up in. This city is a place with fire and momentum behind us. Mayor, council, I appreciate the work you do that you do every day trying to keep Wilmer moving forward. I know it's not always easy. I know it doesn't always come with applause, but your leadership matters, your decisions matter, and the impact of your service will be felt for generations. To the young people here today or listening at home, I want you to hear this from someone who walked these streets just like you, who spent time in the Gilliam Library all day and night. You can go far, you can do big things. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Wilmer raised me, and I'm proud of that. You should be too. Let's keep building together a city that honors the past, takes care of the present, and opens the door wider for the future. In my conclusion, thank you for welcoming me back home. Thank you for letting me share a few words, and thank you truly for continuing to believe in the great citizens of Wilmer. We've got so much more that we can do, and we've done so much already, and the best is yet to come. God bless you. God bless the city of Wilmer, my hometown. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Downs, the consent agenda, please.
Item 1, consider ordinance number O2025-08218, approving a negotiated settlement between the Atmos City Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corp. Mid-Text Division regarding the company's 2025 rate review mechanism filing, declaring existing rates to be unreasonable, adopting tariffs that reflect rate adjustments consistent with the negotiated settlement, finding the rates to be set by the attached settlement tariffs to be just and reasonable and in the public interest, approving an attachment establishing a benchmark for pensions and retiree medical benefits, requiring the company to reimburse ACSC's reasonable rate making expensive. Item 2, consider resolution R2025-0821B, approving the terms and conditions of the Fire and EMS Protection Interlocal Agreement between Dallas County and the City of Wilmer, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit A for services related to delivery of fire and EMS services to Judge John Cruzo Judicial Treatment Center. 3, consider resolution number R2025-0821C, approving the terms and conditions of the Fire and EMS Protection Interlocal Agreement renewal between Dallas County and the City of Wilmer, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit A for services related to the deliverance of fire and EMS services in the City of Wilmer's extraterritorial jurisdictions, unincorporated county areas, and the Judge John Cruzo Judicial Treatment Center located at 200 Green Road. Item 4, consider resolution number R2025-0821D, amending the authorized signatories to execute payable checks at Commercial State Bank and adding Kristen Downs, City Secretary, and removing Rona Stringfellow, former City Administrator. Item 5, consider resolution number R2025-0821E, authorizing signatories at Prosperity Bank by adding Patricia Albright, Consulting Finance Director, and Sheila Petta, Mayor, Acting City Administrator, and by removing Debbie Miley, former Finance Director, and Rona Stringfellow from City Administrator as authorized signature on all city accounts. Item 6, consider resolution R2025-0821F, authorizing the mayor and consulting finance director to sign an engagement letter with Fox, Bird & Co. for audit services in the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025.
Council, may I get a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second it.
Please vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. It passes 4-0. We will now move to the public hearing portion of the agenda. Ms. Downs, please read the items into record, please.
Item number 6, conduct a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, ending September 30th, 2026, for all city funds, providing that the budget will raise more revenue from property taxes than last year's budget by an amount of $4,044,907, which is a 43.37% increase from last year's budget. The property tax revenue to be raised for new property added to the tax roll this year is $2,878,707. Ms. Patricia, you do not speak on this one, right? It's just for the public hearing. You don't speak, right? No.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to open a public hearing.
Okay. It will start at 7:34. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Would anyone like to speak?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Thank you. May I get a vote?
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
4-0. It passes. The public hearing will close at 7:35.
Item number 7, conduct a public hearing regarding the proposed revenue increase from levying ad valorem taxes for fiscal year 2025-2026 at 0.467928 per $100 assessed valuation of all taxable property within the corporate limits to provide revenues for current maintenance and operation expenses and interest and sinking fund requirements, providing due and delinquent dates, penalties, and interest, providing a homestead exemption and disability.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to open the public hearing.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. May I get a vote?
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It is 4-0. Okay. I will now open the public hearing at 7:36. Would anyone like to speak?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Second it.
Thank you. Vote, please.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
4-0, it passes. The public hearing is closed at 7:37.
We will now move on to the action items. Number 8, consider and take appropriate action on appointments and reappointments to the City of Wilmer Board and Commissions. Mayor and council, following the Board and Commission special meeting held on August 11th, there was an update. We have Commissioner George Leverett expressed his desire to also serve on the CDC Type B Board in addition to his current role of the Planning and Zoning Commission. There is presently one open position on the CDC Type B Board with the term expiring on May 31st, 2026. If council wishes to appoint Mr. Leverett to the CDC Board, this can be done when the motion is made. We also have Gina Slagle, who currently serves on the Library Board. Her term ends on May 31st, 2026. She would like to also serve on the EDC Board. There is presently one position open on the EDC Type A Board with a term expiring May 31st, 2027. If council wishes to appoint Ms. Slagle to the EDC Board, this can be done when the motion is made. I will now move on to the appointments and reappointments. Planning and Zoning Commission, Roberto Madrigal and Pamela Wood, with terms expiring on May 31st, 2027. Library Advisory Board, Tanya Dishner and Vicki Vandergriff, with terms expiring May 31st, 2027. Community Development Corporation Type B, Sheila Pettit, Crystal Simpson, Keisha Braggs, all with terms ending on May 31st, 2027. Economic Development Corporation Type A, Jeff Steele, Jennifer Jones, both terms ending on May 31st, 2027. Parks Advisory Board, Olivia Mayo Montesinos, Sarah Davis, and Michael Stinson, all 3 terms ending on May 31st, 2027.
May I have a motion, please? And a second. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. This appointment of Ms. Slagle, Gina Slagle, that's wanting on a board, I move to approve the appointment for the, which board is she on? The board that's available on here,
For EDC.
yeah, the EDC.
Okay, then.
If I can interrupt for just a second, I just asked our lawyer for clarification. I was under the impression if you serve on a tax board, you could not serve on any other board. You can serve on two of any other, but not a board, tax board. He's researching that right now.
Yeah, I actually thought we had, I couldn't remember our ordinance said if you serve on one board, you might not be able to serve on another. But I remembered that there is the code of ordinances that we have online is not actually updated with some of the things that we've done. For example, we have in the 1.06043, it talks about, or 033, talks about you can only be, you have to be a resident of the city to serve on any boards. But somebody pointed out to me that we amended that ordinance for P and Z and allowed people to be in the ETJ.
Correct.
So I'm looking through here and I'm realizing, well, this may not be updated. So are you aware of any requirement we have about people serving on one board, not serving on another, or tax?
I did not see that.
Okay.
When I did do my research, the only thing is if you are on planning and zoning and the CDC, there could be a high probability of having to recuse yourself
Okay.
because of conflict of interest on both boards.
Okay.
Okay. The other position,
So it is a conflict of interest?
No, it's
Okay,
not.
okay.
It's not.
And, do what? Okay, do what? Okay. I move to approve the appointment and, reappointment list as presented. Which board? I'm,
you've got,
the,
The-
both of them, George
George Levitt is asking for the B board.
Okay.
And the other young lady,
Slagle to the Economic Development
That's-
Corporation Type A Board.
right,
Okay, with a term ending of May 31st.
of 27.
And George Leverett would be a termination of May 31st, 2026.
Okay, term ending May 31st, 26.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have to say on that. List on the back.
Second? Okay. Ms. Nealon, second.
Okay, so Phyllis made the motion
Mhm.
and Linda seconded.
Mm-hmm.
I need a vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
It is 4-0, and it passes.
All right, item number 9, consider ordinance number 02023-0504A-R, amending the code of ordinances by repealing chapter 1, general provisions, article 1.06, boarding commissions and committees, and replace it with an entirely new chapter 1, general provisions, article 1.06, boarding commission committee, which is attached to this ordinance as exhibit A. So after reviewing the ordinance and speaking with council on August 11th, the following updates are amended to ensure compliance with state law, clarified board structures, and improve operation efficiency. One of the changes is background checks for members appointed to the boards that interact with youth or oversee youth programs. This applies to the Park and Rec Advisory Board and the Library Board. All board and commission members to complete both the Texas Open Meetings Act and the Texas Public Information Act within 90 days of appointment. Keep Wilmer Beautiful Subcommittee under the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, focusing on beautification, litter reduction, and community engagement initiatives. The addition of the Capital Improvement Advisory Committee, added as a new board in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 395. Membership requirements: 5 members appointed by the city council. At least 50% must be representatives of the real estate, development, or building industries, such as developers, builders, or real estate professionals who are not city employees or officials. These industry members may own or develop property within the city, but must not be employed by or serve as an official of the city. Non-industry members must reside within the corporate limits of Wilmer and be registered voters. Industry members are not required to reside in the city, but must own property, conduct business, or have a professional interest within the city of Wilmer. Community Development Corporation Type B remains at 7 members and cannot be reduced per Texas Local Government Code 505.051. The Library Board of Adjustment reduced from 6 members to 5 members to improve attendance and quorum consistency. Now, there's one more that we need to discuss, is the Planning and Zoning Commission. It was discussed at the August 11th meeting, the current allowance for an ETJ resident to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission. The city currently has 1 member residing in the ETJ whose term ends May 31st, 2026. If council recommends removing the eligibility of the ETJ resident from serving, I will update the qualifications in the ordinance and revise the exhibit attached to the adopted ordinance. I would need council's direction on whether to keep the ETJ exception for the Planning and Zoning Commission, remove the Planning and Zoning Commission member effective today, August 21st, 2025, or remove the member and allow them to complete their term through May 31st, 2026.
Council?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve the recommendations for board changes as presented, waiting for a second so that it can be discussed.
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay. Do we want to vote on this yet? Okay, let's discuss it.
Madam Mayor, I do believe we need to keep the ETJ exception, and that is because future growth of our city is in the ETJ. And there needs to be a representative of that. Now, whether we keep it as the person who is on the board now, or in the future it becomes someone else. But that is my belief, because all the development is either going to go that way or that way, which is our ETJ.
Right.
And that includes residential and commercial,
Mhm.
both developments that are planned in those directions.
Ms. Phyllis, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything to say on it. No comment.
Ms. Kim?
I don't understand why it's the only board like that. It's the only board that includes the ETJ.
May I answer? Well, that's the only one that has potential zoning changes that's going to happen. I mean, library board, people who are in the ETJ can already come to the
Right.
library. Can already go to any park without any kind of say.
Right.
Those are public to anyone.
Right.
But, so this is the only board that has the potential to affect the people who
In
are in
the-
the ETJ. So it is my belief they should have representation.
It's the only city ordinance that, I mean, it's in the city ordinance that you must be a resident and
Right
voter.
now, yes.
No, we changed that. We changed
It's-
that a couple of years ago.
It's not changed in the ordinances. It's only
And
changed
as-
in the,
Yeah.
it's changed in one place, but not in another.
Yeah, okay, I can support that. As we just said earlier, as our attorney just stated, our city ordinances have not been updated online.
Right.
But we do have it in the regs of boards meetings from 2 years ago where that was changed to allow someone from the ETJ, and it was for that purpose because of development that would be going out toward Mars Road and out toward Van and Mason.
Ms. Linda, you have any questions?
No,
Okay.
I'm pretty much in agreement with that.
Okay. Then, does everyone agree? May I get a vote?
Yes.
Yes, till the term ends.
Okay.
Yes, till the term ends.
Yes.
Okay. It is 4-0, and it passes.
Okay, item number 10, consider approval of ordinance number 02025-0821, adopting a budget for the city of Wilmer for fiscal year October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026, and providing that expenditures for said fiscal year shall be made in accordance with said budget. Ms. Patricia Albrecht, our consulting finance director, will present.
Ms. Patricia?
Good evening, Council and Mayor. I'm happy to be here again. And we went over the entire budget on Monday. There was a couple of questions from council regarding some items that are included in the budget this year. One of them being the 14% increase in healthcare coverage for the employees. And Councilmember Jacobs was concerned that this cost would be passed on to our employees, and I'm happy to report that that is not the case. I've got some information from the city's insurance broker, and he provided me with some handouts, and I think that you all got that via email, via Kristen, our city secretary, and the way he explained it to me, currently, Blue Cross Blue Shield is the health insurance provider for the city. And they currently have 2 plans that the employees can choose from. Starting October 1st, they'll be able to choose from 4 plans. And in the beginning, he explained to me that Blue Cross was going to increase by 26 to 27% for those premiums. And so he was instructed to go out and bid it out to other carriers, and another carrier came back lower, and it's about a 14% increase from what we currently pay, the city currently pays. So he took that back to Blue Cross to show them that we had another carrier interested in our business. So Blue Cross Blue Shield met that price. So we went up to the 14%, and the way he explained it to me is that he put those costs in so that the city would cover that increase. And it is already included in the budget. I was directed by the former city administrator to go ahead and put that into the costs that the city will incur for the employees. Now, it's an estimate because we don't know what plan they're gonna go with. But if you go and compare those plans, they have several where it'll be the same amount that they currently pay. And they even have a new HSA plan that they'll be able to elect. And a lot of employees were wanting that additional benefit of an HSA plan because they can put money into it and it's theirs. It never goes away. So I thought that was, a pretty neat thing that he was able to get for the city. So in essence, the costs are gonna be the same for them, depending what plan they choose. There's different deductibles and so forth. Everything is in those handouts. And he also told me that he went over this on his presentation on August 11th. So, and he's available if anybody wants to talk to him. He'll be glad to spend hours explaining to you, and I just was like, okay, that's fine, you know, I don't need to know all the details, just give me a handout. So I'm not an insurance person, so that's the good news. The second item was a question about the TRA buy-in and some concerns about the water and wastewater fund. I do believe that Haley Taylor put together a really good memo just outlining everything in the Trinity River Authority interlocal agreement. And from what I can see on our books, we started paying them the buy-in rate in fiscal year '24. You'll see it in the audit. And then, of course, this year, fiscal year '25, we pay for some of the operations and maintenance for that line, and also some debt service. So from what I see, the debt service will keep increasing because they, you know, were part of that agreement. And so the costs to the water fund will also continue to increase. Now, we don't know by how much because they're the ones who provide that to us. And they do it just like we do. They have a budget and they, you know, they project out all of their costs and allocate them accordingly to each participating city. So that's something for you to hold on to. And every year they do provide the city with this letter that outlines everything, you know, so that we can prepare ourselves for the following year. Another question that came in later on is our public safety officers going to receive that STEP plan? They are on a STEP plan. They are a 3% step every time they go up. And so the 3% is built into the current budget right now for the public safety officers. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that right now we are proposing the highest tax rate that we could probably propose without triggering an election. And the most important part of that is that, as I mentioned on Monday, the 2 points is that we want to be able to have that tax rate to pay the debt for the next fiscal year. And the second is to build up our reserves. I do think that around mid-year, we can come back and look at the employees' salaries, and especially the public safety officers, to see where they're at in the market. I'm not sure when was your last market analysis, but I'll be glad to check that with the human resources staff and acclimate myself to that and see where we're at with our public safety officers and how much we pay them, because they're very valuable. Of course, all the employees are valuable. And so we can look at that. And I say mid-year because at that point in time, we can look and see how is the sales tax revenue going? Can we afford to move them up a little bit more? And we can start planning for the following fiscal year using those numbers. Right now, for this fiscal year and what we have put in the budget, it's mostly to get us on track to having those reserves of 60 days, and then in the future, see how can we make it so that we move up to the 90 days. And it's going to be a lot of strategy in how we budget for the future. And the most important one, of course, is general fund, and then next, it's the water and sewer fund. So it was a great discussion that we had on Monday, and I really appreciate all your questions. And if you have any more questions, go ahead and contact Kristen, and she'll send them to me. So do you have any other questions that I can answer for you right now?
I just have the comment that I was very concerned. We made a kind of, I guess, an overall agreement. We would try to stay within the midpoint of the VFW recruiting for
Yes.
officers. This past weekend, I had to use the services of some of the men standing back there.
Yes.
And we don't want to lose any of them. And I did have one of them tell me he could go elsewhere and make anywhere from $300 to $500 more a month. But so he says he stays here because of leadership and because of the team. And that's good to hear, but also, you gotta pay bills. You gotta
Yes,
take care
sir.
of your family. So I wanna make sure, or I would wish, as a council, as a board here, you know, that we stay in the midpoint with our officers and our firefighters, EMT, our safety officers, because the citizens rely on them.
I completely agree with that, and it is a challenge across the country for, there's challenges to attract those.
Recruiting is hard.
Yes, recruiting and, I just look at other cities around us and what they're doing to recruit firefighters, EMTs, police officers, offering sign-on bonuses, all kinds of things, because it's so difficult to attract good people and hire all of these good people. There's less and less young people that want to go into that, into the academy, and serve as firefighters or police officers or what have you. I know that some cities, their departments are going out to colleges to recruit for firefighters and police officers. They're really stepping it up because not a lot of people want to do that job anymore.
The city of Lancaster is growing their own in cooperation with the high school.
Yes, they're becoming, like I said, very, very creative in their recruiting efforts, and I completely agree. Like I said, I've worked with other organizations, and we had to get very creative and have a strategy of how to, increase those salaries to attract
Well,
firefighters and police officers. So we can work on that and see how can we do it so that we can fund that and provide them with a higher pay rate and so
If
forth.
needed.
I'm sorry?
If needed.
If needed, yes.
I do know, I appreciate everything that both our police and fire department do. I tell them every time I see them, thank you. I know every call they get, they respond to it. And I can tell you, our guys are not paid what they need to be paid. Nowhere near it.
I do want to go on the record and just note that our HR department has been awesome, and they are attending college recruiting events, trying to get them into.
Any questions, ladies?
Ladies, if you might. Hello, my name is Alicia Dorsey. I'm the Human Resources Director
Come on up.
for the city of Wilmer. And I just wanted to share that we are not only just working with our local colleges, but having worked very closely with our neighboring cities in the past, we have plans with both the police chief and the fire chief to expand our recruitment. Our last compensation study actually took place in 2024. So it was not that long ago. I will tell you that it is typical that you have a compensation study and check-ins on that study every 2 to 3 years. There's a cost associated with that. And so today, we're here to review the cost for the city. And with that being said, we will move forward. We will continue to keep check on the competitiveness of both public safety positions as well as general government positions. But with that, we ask for council support tonight to continue to provide us with the means to do so. I'm
Thank you.
here also to support Patricia and answer any additional questions that you might have on the human resources end.
Any questions?
Yes, I do have a question. I know that the benefit package is very important to go along with your recruitment. And in the long run, it probably has a lot to do with the decision of the person to stay or look elsewhere. However, I do have a question. Is there any kind of mandated amount that we are required to put toward the retirement?
No, ma'am, there is not. However, traditionally, we have sought to at least contribute For benefits as a whole, 80%, and for our retirement, we have committed to 2-to-1. So every employee participates in the TMRS program. They take their own 7% of their salary that's contributed to TMRS, and at their point of retirement, the city matches that 2-to-1. Now, we're required through working with Patricia as well as TMRS, they issue us a rate adjustment annually because they actually work with their auditors as well as their underwriters to actually put forth and say, this is how much annually you have to contribute in order to meet your obligations to retirees. And so that's also built into the budget that's being presented to you tonight.
I just noticed that in some areas, the retirement is almost double of this year's proposed to what it is for the current year. And I just wondered why it would be that much more.
Yeah. It depends on a couple of things. The first thing, as mentioned from the crowd, is salary adjustments. As anyone in the city's salary increases, the contribution increases to TMRS. In addition to that, no matter where an employee goes, what city they retire from, if they ever worked for the city of Wilmer and they were in the TMRS program, we are required to meet their 2-to-1 match at their retirement. So they don't even have to be an active employee seeking retirement to receive that match. So there's no way to track that. TMRS tracks that, and that's where they contribute to that rate that they provide us annually. So you will see that increase there. It does ebb and flow, depending on how many people here and abroad determine that they want to retire.
Well, it's really not consistent in each department, and that's kind of what caught my attention in the first place. For example, in this particular line item that I'm looking at, the current year cost is $15,000 and the proposed is $29,500. Now that's double. But then when you look in a different category, it might be a couple of $1,000s difference. So I didn't quite get why it wasn't at least consistent and why it would have been so much. Why would it double?
Absolutely. Well, it can, I'm not sure about double, but it can vary up and down.
Well, if you go
depending
from
on-
15 to 29, that's pretty
Well,
much of
again,
a
right.
substantial increase.
It depends on what the actual pay is that the employees are making in that department currently. In addition, it also depends on how many employees are in that department currently. It can also fluctuate based on vacancies. It can fluctuate based on hiring. And so with that particular department,
Which department are you looking at?
Happened to be looking at the finance department.
Oh, well, it's because there's no finance director right now.
Right.
There's no finance director right now, so we're not paying anybody retirement right now. So if you're looking at that there's a vacancy, we are preparing for next year's hiring of a finance director, and we have to put in, let's say we're going to pay her $130,000, just.
Okay, well, again, let's look up here at administration. The current year projected is 33,000, and yet the budget for next year is 56.
Yes.
That, again, a huge increase.
We
And it's,
are-
like I say, it's just not consistent, so it's kind of interesting.
Okay, so the end of year projected, it's because there are some vacancies right now. And next year, we are planning for those vacancies to be filled. And there's also the 3% increase for the salaries. So we have to take that number that we are proposing for next year and multiplying that times the new rate. The rate now is lower from TMRS. So every year TMRS says, here's your rate. We take that rate and you multiply that times the salaries that we think we're going to be paying. If someone quits or we never fill that, then the projections are going to be low because now we don't have to pay that out. So for next year, it looks like a huge jump, but it really isn't. Because we are planning to fill that position next year, and we are planning for that bucket of money for retirement for that person. Now, if that person's never hired, then next year's projections will also be low. And you'll see that, oh, it's not 69,000, we end up paying out maybe 45,000 on retirement, because it depends on who's actually on the payroll. And for budgeting purposes, we're expecting all of these people to be on the payroll the full year. It won't be that way, but we have to budget that way, so we can have the money set aside in case we do fill all the positions. So that's why it looks like a big jump, but it really isn't.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Patricia.
You're welcome. Thank you, Alicia.
Okay. All right. May I get a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve ordinance 02-025-0821B, adopting a budget for the city of Wilmer for the fiscal year beginning October the 1st of 2025, which will end in September the 30th of 2026.
Okay, may I get a second? Ladies, may I get a second?
Okay, for all of you who, please understand, if we don't adopt a budget, we will be held to the current budget that we have.
No. There will be no budget.
We continue.
I will tell you now, if the budget is not passed, we do not go back to last year. We will have no budget and the city will close down. We'll have no police department, no fire department, no water. The city will be gone. And your jobs will be gone.
That's correct.
I'm sorry I had to say that.
It's a
I tried not to.
I think we need a little more time to discuss this and go over, because it's been confusing. The print has been so small, you know, just straining your eyes in certain things. When y'all give your presentation, you've got it wrote out in, you know, big letters and stuff where y'all can just flip pages. But when we're trying to check stuff out, it's just straining your eyes, which I did all morning long going over some of this stuff. And it is confusing, and we need to maybe have a round table to discuss some more of this.
I just wanted to let you know that September 17th is the last day for me to send in our tax rate and the ordinance signed to the Dallas County Tax Assessor.
Well, this is about the budget. When's the deadline for the adoption of the budget?
September the
Those are the
17th.
same days.
They're both the same, tax rate and budget.
Yes, ma'am.
And as she mentioned, the mayor mentioned, you are a general law city, so the law is different for a city as Wilmer. And if there is no budget adopted, then she is
I
correct.
can't hear you. Are you speaking into the mic? I
Yes,
can't hear
ma'am.
what you're saying.
There will be, October 1st, the city will have to shut down. You cannot purchase water.
Nope.
You cannot have police officers, no fire, no
No nothing.
paramedics. This is a general law city. You don't have a charter So you have to go through what the state calls type A city. It is imperative that it is adopted by the 17th, or there will be dire consequences.
Right.
So we've got until the 17th.
I'd like to get it passed before the 17th so we can get it in.
I have to send in the ordinance signed to
Right.
Dallas County on that day.
Right. We cannot wait until the 17th.
Well, we have things on here that we hadn't, like purchasing things for public works. You know, we hadn't discussed that or anything. This is just,
Madam Mayor, I would like to read into the record, a city operating without an adopted budget would revert to operating on a temporary month-to-month basis with prorated appropriations from the prior fiscal year's budget, as is the case of Texas general law cities. Texas law provides mechanical reasoning for where the city fails to adopt a budget by a certain date. The prior year's budget becomes the basis for the new year's expenses until a formal budget is passed.
Just a little slight tweak on that. I think it's actually the lower of the effective rate or the last year's rate is what that. So it's not that they won't.
We
have
won't
the
be
budget.
able to have a city because we're not gonna have the money.
Okay, all I'm saying is we will have a tax rate, and I believe it's gonna be the lower of last year's rate or the effective rate, whatever they call that now, I can't remember, that may be the no new revenue rate.
No new revenue, only $500,000 would be.
Right.
And so, but that, you know, that's the rate, we haven't discussed the rate, that's in the next agenda item. The budget, if we can continue operations, but it will be based on month to month, based on the current prior year's budget. That is the general, I just read from the state law.
The city doesn't have the money.
Dallas County will still accept property taxes based on the rate that we will adopt in the next agenda item.
You
So we-
still
if we're-
have,
Madam Mayor, if we are
Please.
tabling the budget for, so that these ladies can do the more research, where we worked on it for 2 months. We had a roundtable discussion on a Saturday where 2 members did not attend.
thank you.
But that was
Oh,
their,
well.
okay, I understand, but that was their decision,
go.
where this was
Here we go.
discussed. I'm
No
sorry.
arguing.
I'm not arguing,
I
I'm
know,
just stating
I know.
facts. That this was discussed at that time, we did a planning to prepare for our budget. And so now to bring up the point of where you have questions is totally out of line, in my opinion. We have spent so many times discussing this. We've had city employees preparing their time with this. We've had meetings, we've had meetings, we've had meetings. If you have questions, now is not the time to be bringing them up. However, I will step back. Let's wait until we set a timeline tonight of September 3rd or 4th or whenever. Let's make a date where we will meet again to discuss this budget. And if it is not approved, then we will follow general law requirements where we will operate month to month based on the 24-25 budget.
I'm trying to
Madam Mayor, I
take,
make a motion to table agenda number 10. Let's move on to 12.
Real fast, if we table it, we have to table it to a date certain. That's why, and I understand what you're saying, I would actually advise not tabling. I am not a fan of tabling things, because then you're stuck on that specific date, and you have to make sure you make a motion to untable it. So if council wants more time, I would recommend not tabling it, just when the council, now, if y'all want to agree on a date when you have a special meeting to do it now, that's absolutely fine. Like maybe I guess our next meeting is the first meeting in September. If you want to do it then, that's fine. We don't need to table it. We don't need to discuss anything, but if y'all may wanna call a special meeting, that's why I would advise not tabling it, that way you can call a special meeting for the budget and maybe the property tax, that's just my thought.
I would like a little more time to look this over. We just got this.
Okay,
Would one week be enough time to review? We could meet on on August the 28th, 1 week from tonight, with the only item to be this, unless we also have to consider the tax rate also.
Right, you can't, the tax rate.
Oh, it can't be approved
Right,
without
if
the
we don't-
budget being
If we don't
approved.
adopt the budget,
Yeah.
then there's no
Never mind.
reason to discuss the tax rate tonight,
Right.
because you have to adopt the budget first before the
That's
tax
right.
rate. Because the state is completely opposite of logic. They say, hey, adopt your budget, then take the tax rate. They don't really understand how that works. You gotta have a lot of money. So we have to do the budget first. Since if we don't do that tonight, then there's no reason to address the property tax. You put them both on. If you wanna do next week, you can do next week. If you wanna do it at our first meeting in September, whatever y'all wanna do, that's how we could do it, but you could do both of those items.
P&Z's on the 28th.
Yeah, P and Z's on the 28th.
I mean, you can start, but you can start a special meeting, but, I mean,
What's the agenda look like for?
It would
First of the
just be
month.
September 4th was our next meeting.
oh, the fourth.
Yes, September the
Yeah.
4th.
What's the
I saw
agenda look like
something
for the
that said
4th? Is
next
there anything
Monday.
big and major?
We have, I think,
I have the June financials, the
Yeah.
investment report. We have a couple of.
I'll just suggest that there's probably nothing on the agenda that is quite as important as adopting our budget, Tabby.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Let's do it the 4th. Okay.
and then we can review this a little
Yeah.
Okay.
more, even though you've probably already reviewed everything step by step, Laura, so, okay.
That was my role. That's what I
Okay,
do.
Well,
September the
I've tried.
4th, is that okay with you ladies?
That's fine.
May I get an answer from each one of you? Yes or no?
I
You gotta
need
have a
second. A motion and a second.
Okay, a motion?
Or you can just direct staff to put it on the agenda.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah,
here.
just put it on the agenda.
There you go.
September the 4th.
I can do that.
Yep.
Okay, that's gonna be September 4th.
All that and the taxes.
So item number 11 is being moved to September 4th also.
Right.
Item 12, consider ordinance number 02025-0821D, approving the proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for proceeds of siege property for the Wilmer Police Department for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026, providing the expenditures for said fiscal year shall be in accordance with said budget.
Did you just say that had to be done at the same time the budget was?
Well, and I was gonna ask, is this budget connected with the overall budget in
Yes.
item 11? It is?
Yes.
Then I would say we need to put that one on there, September the 4th as well. So,
So ratifying,
Hey, we're through then.
Or we could, both of them for the 4th?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All business is done. This concludes our agenda for this evening. There is no further business. This meeting is now adjourned at 8:24. Thank you all for being here and have a good evening.